My name is Kyra. I'm 27 years old from Port Elizabeth, South Africa, living in Christchurch, New Zealand, and this is my story. Come. This is Lomo. He is my baby. So I grew up with a single parent, and things were hard. Things were not easy. Finance was obviously quite a difficult thing to get. It wasn't like we were living this lavish lifestyle. When I was little, I remember my mom used to boil water in a kettle and put it in a bucket type thing, and we would bath from that sometimes. So anyway, around 3 years old, I was sexually abused by a father figure in my life. It was a really hard, I think, realization, and it was something that no one expected. Through, amazing friends and family and counselors, I was able to get the help to get through it, to forgive and to get by. That was the time of my life when God really became such a stable figure in my life. He became, my father figure. He became my healer. He became my rescue. But at 8 years old, I was molested again. That was a really hard season to go through, because my innocence, my vulnerability, and my womanhood was taken from me, not once but twice. And I kind of sat there going, jeepers, like, God, where are you? And what the hell? I was sexually abused by this man, mentally abused, physically abused, emotionally abused. It was horrible. Fast forward a few years, my mom gets remarried to an amazing guy. I'm really grateful for that experience. Yeah, it doesn't end there. At 18 years old, I was raped by a really, really close friend of mine. He was like my brother, he was my best friend, and he spiked my drink and raped me. That was something that really damaged my identity and really damaged my self-esteem, because now it wasn't just once, it wasn't just twice, it was 3 times. I just finished high school, the world was my oyster, and then I got raped. So it was tough. This whole side of me going, this has happened again, now I have to deal with this again. Everything had been stolen from me and taken and abused, and my vulnerability was abused, and my purity again had been stolen, even though I made the commitment to keep my purity, because what had been taken from me was not right and it was not fair. But I could make that commitment of going, out of my own choices, I'm not going to allow myself to be vulnerable to other people until I marry that person. And then I got raped, and all that flew out the window, and I was just a broken individual. By this stage, you're 18 years old, your identity has been formed, you're a woman, there's chance of me falling pregnant, all of these things that I sat in my room just going, oh my word, I cannot believe that this is happening again. So for the last about 5 years, I've been on this journey of self-discovery and of what does it mean to be a victim of rape and abuse? What does that mean for me? Where does that leave me? And I'm not gonna lie, at some point, when I was about 21, I just went absolutely raucous, partying all the time, drinking, drugs, boys, just went absolutely mental. I just thought to myself, well, screw it. I wrote in my journal to God, I was like, screw you. You were meant to look after me. You were meant to protect me. Why did you not protect me? I was bullied and mocked because I was this innocent, whatever. And I, not only had to deal with the consequence of an action that wasn't even my own, but I got bullied for trying to be a better person, and now I got raped. Like, got real into drugs, and it was not good. There were quite a few circumstances and situations where I almost got in a lot of trouble, and it was not ideal. And while I'm going absolutely crazy, drinking, partying, pitching up to work drunk out of my mind, hungover, sleeping on the floor in the bathroom because I'm like done at work, I just kind of decided, okay, time for me to go. God is gracious, and God is merciful, and God is good. He took me across the world to get me out of that situation, and I'm really grateful that he did. Not many people want to talk about being raped, being molested, being abused, physically, mentally, emotionally. Not many people come out of it not smelling like smoke. It was kind of cool a few months ago when I did share my testimony and my journey with someone. They just looked at me absolutely stunned, saying, I never would have expected you to be the product of all this abuse. And that is the beautiful thing about God. So in Romans 8 verse 28 it says, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose. And I can honestly testify to that for all the abuse and hardship I've been through in my last 27 years of life, he has really turned everything out for the good. And he has given me a life that I could only ever have dreamt of. He has given me everything that I ever wanted, that I ever dreamed, that I never thought would be possible. He has given it to me. I am married to the most patient, kind, loving, compassionate, strong, sensitive man I have ever met. He treats me like a princess. I'm so grateful that God has, found it that I am worthy of someone like that. Even through all the stuff that I've been through, even through all the abuse, I am still worthy. And that is the beauty of God. God is faithful even when we don't see it. He's faithful in the little and he's faithful in the big. He knows the desires of your heart. And yeah, hardship comes and crap comes, but we live in a broken and fallen world. I really had this revelation that we cannot control the choices of others, right? God has given us a free will. He's given us the ability and the freedom of choice. So these men chose to do this to me, but it's my decision to choose how I deal with it and the outcome of it. I am a whole and healed woman because of the grace of God, because of his love for me, his unconditional love that never fails, his peace that is tangible and unexplainable and never ending. I am whole because of him. I have what I have today because of him, and I owe it all to him. Where I want to end with this is, if you're struggling with the repercussions of abuse, or if you're getting abuse at the moment, you're not alone. It's not over. Life does get better, and if you do need help, please feel free to message me on Instagram. Please feel free to contact me because I want to be there for you. This is the reason why I'm doing this. This is the reason why I'm sharing my life on a very, very public platform, is because not many people talk about it and not many people want to be vulnerable. But if I'm helping even just one person, it's worth it. So I hope that you feel encouraged, and I hope that you feel blessed.